Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
I remember how everybody called the Browns fools and how we were stupid for giving that Deshaun Watson contract. But now look at what the NFL has come up to. Quarterbacks, they're not settling for less, and they shouldn't. And now in our own division, Lamar just requested a trade. And Andrew Berry knew that to make the market so bad that now owners and GMs are going to have to possibly release or trade their potential franchise quarterback. And I think the same is eventually going to happen to Joe Burrow. And it's going to be bad, but it's going to be good for us because a lot of these teams are going to basically be trading their potential franchise quarterback. So go Browns. This is a good thing for us.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Scott, Andrew Berry was asked about that, if that contract affected did they give Watson that contract based on the fact he knew? And he downplayed it and didn't really comment on it. It probably didn't. They probably did it because that was what they felt they needed to do to get Watson. This ancillary stuff, they're okay with.
Yeah, I think that's right, Dave. They got a lot of smart guys, so maybe, Paul DePodesta thought, okay, this is going to be, kind of byproducts of it, but I haven't gotten that sense. To me, it was more, at the moment, how do you get Deshaun Watson? Because the Browns didn't have necessarily a plan B, right? They'd burned bridges with Baker Mayfield. What were they going to do at quarterback? So I think that was the crux of it. And maybe they felt even after the dust settled, hey, teams are going to pay quarterbacks guaranteed money. That's fine. But it hasn't worked out that way. And Lamar's the biggest first test case of that. And obviously it's a huge sticking point, and who knows how that's going to play out. It doesn't look good right now from Baltimore's standpoint. But, and I don't know how Cincinnati's going to do it. I don't know how Los Angeles is going to do it with Justin Herbert. But part of me would be shocked if the Browns remain the only outlier, right? Like, feels like some quarterback is going to win enough games with their franchise that they can take a huge stand and get all that guaranteed money. But I guess until it happens, I guess it needs to happen first before I believe it will happen.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, things like that don't change because once it happens and there's 3 or 4 of them, you can't put the ketchup back in the bottle if you're the NFL. It's out and it's going to be the way it is.
No, that's a great point. And I do think some of the, I don't know about the Ravens individually, but the fact that there aren't a lot of teams, it looks like, lining up for Lamar Jackson when he's a former MVP quarterback who's like 26 years old. And I don't want to, accuse of collusion, but it feels like there's a sentiment from the owners is, hey, we need to draw this line in the sand right here, right now with these coming players. And I don't know how that'll all play out. I don't know if an owner will deviate from that because, a quarterback will stand his ground. But it does feel like a seminal moment here is, okay, is there going to be contracts that follow Deshaun Watson, or is that going to be a one-off for the history of the NFL? And I do think it's a little early to tell, but I think we're at the moment in the next, 6 months, year and a half, when it will be decided.